What's up guys, Dan here from Kilowatt Auto. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 ways that you can treat and reduce your Tesla related range anxiety. So as a practicing pharmacist, in addition to recommending different drug therapy regimens when treating various disease states, I'll also typically recommend different lifestyle changes. So today's video is going to focus on different lifestyle changes that you can make in order to eliminate and control your range anxiety. If you're new to Kilowatt Auto, welcome to the channel. I started this channel with the purpose of documenting the Tesla ownership experience as well as tracking the car's progression to full self-driving. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and the channel has been steadily growing, so if you'd like to join the Kilowatt Auto family, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you end up enjoying today's video as well, be sure to hit the like button so others have an easier time finding it. So jumping right into things, my first general recommendation is going to be to get a model that has the longest amount of range that your budget can comfortably work with. So a lot of times people will look at their daily driving habits, see that maybe they only drive about 50 miles per day, and then they will buy according to those daily driving habits. So if you're only driving 50 miles per day, a standard range plus Tesla Model 3, which is rated by the EPA at about 250 miles, will be more than enough to get you back and forth from work. However, if it fits into your budget, I always recommending going for a longer range vehicle because having that extra range is going to give you a little bit of wiggle room when things come up down the road, and is going to reduce and possibly eliminate any anxiety that you have about reaching your destination. Another thing to consider as well is that battery degradation will reduce the range of your car over several years. So Teslas in general have great stats in terms of their battery degradation, and it's relatively minimal over the first several years of ownership. However, in the long term, it can start to reduce the range of the battery at a rate of about 1% per year. Usually the steepest drop off in range reduction will occur during the first year of ownership. But again, if you plan on holding on to your Tesla for an extended period of time, battery degradation is something definitely to consider, and if you're able to buy a longer range battery, that's always going to be beneficial in the long run. My second recommendation to control range anxiety is to vary your charging set points based on the season. So typically what I do is during the summer months when the temperatures are a lot warmer, I'll set my charge point to about 250 miles, which is 78% of the battery's capacity. And this is because during the summer, the car is going to be much more efficient, so it's going to use less energy to get me back and forth from work. Now during the winter months when the temperatures are colder, I will set my charge point up to about 80 or 85%, just so I have extra reserve energy in the battery and have no issues getting back and forth from work should I encounter inclement weather or have to take an unexpected drive that's going to use a lot more range than it typically would. Varying your charge points is also going to enhance your battery's longevity, especially during the summer months when you're charging to a lower state of charge. That's going to reduce the degradation that occurs over time with your battery. My third recommendation is going to be to maximize your driving efficiency. So I always make sure that I'm running my tires at their maximum recommended PSI, and you can find these recommendations on the pillar behind the driver's door. You can check your tires inflation manually, or you can simply swipe on the bottom left of the screen inside the car. Another thing that I always try to do when driving is to keep my energy expenditures below about 1/3 of the power band. So the power band is located on the left side of the driver display, and it just gives you a visual representation of how much energy you're using to accelerate. So typically I will drive below that 1/3 mark, and that just enhances that I'm using less energy and I'm driving a little bit more efficiently than flooring it all the time, which is going to consume a lot more energy. Another thing to be aware of is your own driving habits. So you want to take a look at your daily commute. Are you taking the most direct path to work, and are you also accounting for different elevation changes, which may mean is there possibly a better way that you could be driving to work that has less elevation changes and is more direct, which in turn is going to use less energy. My fourth recommendation to prevent range anxiety is to always plan your longer road trips. So if you missed last week's video, I did a relatively brief overview of how you can effectively plan for longer road trips, so I'll link that above if you want to go ahead and check that out. I also put together a road trip playlist so you can learn more about using autopilot on road trips, as well as understanding the different metrics that the car's system is going to give you in order to better understand your expected range as well as your car's efficiency. So my fifth and final recommendation to control range anxiety is to trust the system. So Teslas make it incredibly difficult to actually completely run out of energy. So as long as you're using the navigation system on your longer road trips, it's going to be very difficult to run out of battery unless you're blatantly ignoring the recommendations given to you by the car. So as you approach the end of the battery's range, it will start to make speed recommendations in order to get you to the next charging point. This is also something that I've talked about in previous videos, but on longer road trips, I always recommend staying at superchargers longer than the car recommends, just in case you encounter any unknowns down the road. You'll have that extra buffer of energy to get you on your way and through any obstacles you might encounter. But in general, the Tesla navigation system is extremely intuitive, it's very user-friendly, and it makes it extremely difficult to ever run out of battery. But this is actually where I'm going to end today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button so others have an easier time finding it. And also, if you have any other tips or practices that you use on a daily basis to control range anxiety, make sure you leave those in the comments down below. But with that said, I will see you in the next one.